Believe it or not, I am not a huge DC fan. Yeah, I have a lot of Batman statues. I've had one or two Jokers. And while I'm not a huge fan of DC, I can't argue the fact that Joker is probably one of the scariest and craziest villains anywhere. Case in point, he didn't think he was crazy enough, so he had someone cut his face off and then he wore it as a mask. Maybe I should do that. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, welcome to the Extreme channel. We have another 1/3 scale Joker on the table. This one is by Iron Studios. Now here on the table is not the first time I've actually seen this piece. I actually saw it at the Batman Statue Collector's house when I did a tour a few years ago. You can check it out right here. And I was a huge fan, so I had a great opportunity to pick up this statue. Most of the time, 1/3 scale Joker statues go for around $1,500. This is less than half that right now. We'll talk more about that in value, but I'm really stoked to get him because while I do have a number of Joker statues, as you saw, both comic and movie based, I love the comic ones. They remind me of the animated series. They remind me how truly sadistic Joker was, although they did a decent job portraying him on the big screen. But this just looks absolutely amazing. Now, also as a disclaimer, while I'm filming this, I actually have in transit this Joker from Prime One Studio, also 1/3 scale. And you can see I'm getting the punchline behind him. While I'm trying to limit myself to, okay, I'm only going to have one 1/3 scale comic Joker. Right now I have 3. I got to figure out if I'm going to keep them all. And we're going to do that in the review today. So let's dive in, see if he's worth keeping. At the price he certainly was, which we'll come back to. But let's start looking at the statue. We'll start with concept of this piece. And you know, most Joker statues do have a pretty cool concept. This is not an exception. The base here, he's standing on a bat, gargoyle / bat, which I think is kind of cool, ties to Batman a little bit. And there is so much TNT and dynamite here. Now, some of it actually is oversized, overscaled, but maybe that's on purpose. And he has an explosive box where he just needs to step on it, and it's going to blow up. Right here you see I have him displayed with the hammer. I almost feel like, hey, did he take Harley's hammer? What's going on with that? You have a proximity piece that again reminds me of something Harley would have. It's a Batman in a Jack-in-the-Box or a Batman in the box. He's standing on top. He looks very victorious, just really crazy, showing himself off. He has this classic Joker garb. Like I said, this particular one really reminds me of the animated series, which I never got really big into, but I thought it was fantastic. Little bit of movement to the statue, which I really like. Not only are his clothes flowing, but he's kind of leaning forward. And as you move up, we'll talk about the portraits in a little bit. He actually has his cane, his staff, barely gliding on his fingers. So much motion to the statue, which is what I really like. I think they did a great job, great representation of Joker. Again, a ton of great options out there, but I think it's solid 4 out of 5 on the concept for this piece. Design, pretty cool too. I think they have some cool display options. I did have one small break we'll talk about, but first, here's the unboxing and assembly. One box, which is nice. It seems like a lot of 1/3 or 2 boxes. It did come with this awesome art print. That's pretty cool. Iron Studios, foam and straps. Now, I normally take a picture of the layout, but apparently I forgot, but I didn't forget to take a picture of the damage. All right, so let's get some measurements. Exact measurements are on Iron Studio's website. There's a link in the description below. But he's about 14 inches wide. Deepest part without the hammer is maybe 13. Hammer adds a little bit because as you can see, the hammer actually sits not on the statue but next to it. Before we get the height, just so you know, this actually, I call it a proximity piece. It's not. It actually goes into the back of the statue right here. I kind of like it on the front where it's actually kind of sitting on the trigger about to go down. The tallest part with this particular switch out, because there are different switch outs, is almost 35 inches, which is kind of normal for a 1/3 scale statue. So 1/3 means 3 times smaller than a real life version. The Bat Gargoyle wing is where I had the breakage. You saw that during the unboxing right here. I need to re-glue that. But you have 2 portraits, 2 left arms, 2 right arms. So let's look at those. The left arm, he can be swinging the cane, which to me that's a cool one. Or he can be holding some cards, some Joker cards. The right hand, he can be holding a gun. Now the gun, you can also put a bang into it, which I think is cool. Or you can have him resting on the hammer. 2 different portraits. One, and again, very animated Mark Hamill type. This is what that reminds me of, but classic Joker. But to me, you have to do the one where he actually had the doll maker tear his face off and then he wore it as a mask, just to be more scary and crazy. So some cool display options. I like what they did. It doesn't take up too much room. It's not a huge base. And I kind of like this where I'm justifying in my head I'm going to keep this because I have the one on the throne coming. This one has the different masked face. The other one I have is the Bermejo. Some really cool variations of Joker. So overall, I had a broken piece, but I don't think that's normal. It was all packed pretty well. I think the design is also a 4 out of 5. Good switch out options, doesn't take up a ton of room, and everything fits together really nice. Paint and sculpt. Iron Studio is doing really well with these 1/3 scale. Check it out. The lighting on this guy is really hard to get. We're going to talk about that, but first let's look at the portraits. I love this portrait. Even though I won't be displaying it, the evil, maniacal smile, him looking up with his eyes like he's up to something. I like the fade in the hair and the individual strands. The darkness around his eyes, really well done. And look at that mouth. Ruby red lips, yellow teeth. It's like you think this is fantastic, and then you see this portrait where you can see the muscles behind his face where he skinned it off. One of his eyes is completely green. They're different colors. So evil, so maniacal. Silence of the Lambs. Look at the detail in the leather strap and the staples holding it together. So incredibly good. Now regarding the rest of the statue, the light, I have some really bright lights on it. I mean, really, really bright. Let's give it a second to adjust. Now with that being said, this is purposefully a dark statue. They didn't do a lot of vibrant colors. It's the camera here is actually showing it lighter than it is, but it's a really dark statue, which makes it interesting to display. But I like that because they wanted to stay with that dark theme. I think the dynamite could have been done better. Like I said, it's not only oversized, but a few little paint marks there. And even the sculpt on the fuses could have been a little bit better, but that's really the weakest part of the statue. I think the gargoyle looks great. I like the brown. It helps mix it up a little bit along with the gray, but great detail on it, or the Batgoyle, I should say. Mallet looks fantastic. Looks like real wood with the grain. Then the straps at the top. I love the trigger box. Caution explosive, boom. It's crossed out again. Great job on the wood and the metal around it. The bat in the box. His clothes look fantastic. I love the suit. I love the folds. It really helps the flow of the statue. Then you can see his vest and shirt underneath. The bow tie could have been a little bit better right there, but even look at the cuffs on the jacket. Very jokery. Like it's so funny. A guy who skinned his face off wants to make sure he looks good with cufflinks. The leather on the gloves look fantastic. Looks like real leather, both with the shading and the sculpt. Take a look at the interior of his coattails here. And then again, the flow of that. I like the black shading in between the pinstripes. Just a little bit of foam I need to get off there. Really well done with the paint and sculpt. I absolutely love it. Nice job, Iron Studios. So while some of the paint tones are muted, I still like it. You know, it's dark. As we discussed, it's dark. Joker's kind of dark. I think the paint is a solid 4 out of 5. Sculpt, while I would like to see a little bit better in the Dynamite, I think the rest of the base and Joker is fantastic, especially those portraits. It's a very strong 4 out of 5, in my opinion. I really, really like it. Now, value. This is where this shines. So they made 600 of these. The normal retail price is $9.99. That's a steal. But right now that I'm filming this, and I hope it's still there when I launch this, is, and again, check the link in the description below, $6.99. $6.99 for this guy. That is absolutely stupid cheap. $699. I would pick this up in a second. Fantastic statue for a fantastic price. That's a 5 out of 5 on the value for me. So does he have the X Factor? I will say this. The first time I saw him at the Batman Statue Collector's House, I liked him a little more than I do now. I still really like him. I'm going to keep him for now. But I do think he has the X Factor. I think he's a 5 out of 5 when you consider the price, the awesome switch outs, the good paint and sculpt. I do actually have a spot next to some other Jokers. I might have to rearrange that display a little bit. If you want to see where he's going to go, check out my 1/3 scale statue collection in this recent room tour. Going to have him over there. But for now, let me know where he lines up with other Joker statues. Is he a contender or not? Throw that down in the comments below. And if you want him, again, grab him at that great deal. And if he's already sold out, I do apologize. But you could win a statue really soon because we're doing a big giveaway. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thanks so much. I'm sorry I didn't get in any jokes. She didn't say that. Hit a like for Iron Studios. Thank you, Iron Studios. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.